Hey there guys, what is up? It's Cameron here and I am with the one and only Tridd, the caster of NUEL Live today. How was it today for you?
I've been waiting an entire season to do this, so it's absolutely an amazing day to come down here to the ESL studio and actually finally get the cast in front of a live audience, so I've been really dying to do.
So tell me about your career as a caster, like how long have you been casting for, what got you into casting, why do you like it so much?
I think I got into casting probably about a year ago exactly to this day. It was very much a case of where I went to university, I went to De Montfort Uni here in Leicester. We had a varsity against the University of Leicester team. And
DMU rules.
DMU rules indeed. Then we had Desitu, who's been a friend of mine for a very long time. I've co-casted with him throughout my entire career so far. He basically needed a co-caster. I was like, you know what, I fancy my hand. I'd like to try this. Did it once, absolutely fell in love with it. And then I got picked up by the NUEL about a month later, and I've been doing it ever since.
So what's it like as a caster? You know, is it really intensive? And like, is it physically draining or is it more mentally draining?
It honestly depends on the quality of the games. Like sometimes you'll get some games that aren't really that interesting. Like, as a play-by-play caster, I live for the bloodthirsty fights. Like if I could pick any region to cast, it'd be China because it's all about the team fights. So if it's really like slow pace, methodical, and there's loads of macro play going on, it's really boring. So it can be quite draining because you're sat there thinking, I just want to, I want to fight. But when you have bloodthirsty games, it's the best thing in the world because you're just constantly going at it. You're constantly kept active, and it just makes it so much more enjoyable.
So you spoke about games. Let's go game by game. We had four of them today. You know, the first one, Aston University. They look really, really strong. Like, what was your opinion on them as a team?
So we've seen a lot of Aston over the course of the season. They've always been up there. They've won a NUEL final, so to speak, just the way the tournament format works. And it was really interesting to see how they progressed the team because they started off really strong. They missed out to Euro B in the first series. They ended up beating Huddersfield Whiteout, so they won their second final. And then they came here today. And in the last split we've had before this final, they really dropped off the radar a little bit. They weren't really up there with the best of them. And they very much came into the semi-finals as an underdog team. They beat out Euro B. So you guys are just enjoying the A-Rams at the moment. But no, they beat Euro B, very surprising, and they came here today. I very much had in my headset that Aston were going to win today. I just didn't know what the score was going to be.
You know, game two, Aston, they came off that huge win game one. They had a Baron fight. Like there was 7 kills ahead, tons of towers ahead, the Baron fight, and then just Cambridge looked like to run away with the game. You know, how do you think that call was? You know, was it the right call to do Baron at that point, or shouldn't they just have waited, choked them out more? What's your opinion?
My opinion doesn't hold much weight because I am a player of the cast. I don't have the knowledge, but in my opinion, Aston were right to do the Baron. What Cambridge Memers did was a Hail Mary play. It was very much of, we got to go for this. If we get it, great. If we don't, we lose. And they pulled it off. That is literally the only reason that Cambridge came out to win it, off the back of that Baron. It was a 100-to-1 shot, and they got it.
So game 3, you know, you said earlier you like bloodthirsty games. Game 1 to 3, they were bloodthirsty, like 10, 15 minutes. They were always getting kills. There was always action, some near kills. Game 3, it was a lot of back and forth. You know, it looked more of like a game more than Aston crushing. So how was game 3 for you?
Game 3 was, I mean, as soon as we saw the pick and ban phase, we saw with Karma, Lulu, Jana, they were all focused on getting MSR on this vein off. So it didn't matter that it was a quite early game because you knew it was going to blow up in the late. And that it did. Like I think the triggering point of the match was definitely when MSR chased down Let Me Win Please on that Shyvana, isolated him and just run him down. And straight as soon as that happened, we realised, right, this game's over, MSR's going to take it away.
So game 4, you know, Aston, they're 2-1 up. One more game, they've won the NUEL finals. It's not more of a bloodthirsty game, it just looked a lot slower. And then around 17 minutes, there was one moment and Aston just went off, they took off and they looked to steamroll the game. You know, was it right in them playing slower, more methodical? Or do you think they should have gone for more aggressive, focused more on dragons and objectives like they did the previous 3 games?
Truth be told, Aston have always been this team in the NUEL so far that have thrived off the early game. They just go in there, they play super aggressive, win the early game, or they lose. I was pleasantly surprised to see them today. They were able to take it to mid to late, which is something we haven't really seen before. They had to win early or lose. So when they're playing this methodical game, yeah, it's not necessarily as great for me as a caster because I love to see violence. I'm a bit of a psychopath in that sense. But they were able to play slower. It did work for them, and at the end of the day, they came out with a victory. So who am I to question what they've done?
So NUEL's an amazing organisation.
Thank you.
I managed to get to play on the stage earlier in the community games. We only managed to have 2 because of time constraints. It would have been nice to go to the 3rd of the ARAM. What did you think of my abysmal AD carry plays?
It was really something. I mean, the fact that we went to 2 is just quintessential of EU. You know, we understand draws, so we're able to get away with it. I think Lube summed it up best when he said, "We'll get it." I could hear a million Americans cry out in confusion when we went to this draw. But no, in terms of watching the community games were absolutely great. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what the NUEL is about. I mean, we do try to put on a good show for everyone, put on a super competitive stream, but it doesn't matter how much we put into the stream, it's all about the people who sign up. It's the 356 odd teams that sign up. That's what it's about. It's about giving as many people as possible the competitive experience. So yeah, maybe we only gave 10 people here at NUEL Live the opportunity to play on stage, have it casted in a professional studio. But to me, that's what the NUEL's about. It's about giving people who don't have the competitive opportunities those opportunities.
So last thing, do you have any comments, any experience, any tips you want to give to anyone out there that wants to become a caster?
Just do it. I mean,
like Shia LaBeouf, yeah?
Yeah, it's literally just a case of just do it. You can sit there and go, what if, but you're never going to get anywhere. So if you just go out there, do it, trust me, you're going to sound terrible. Everyone sounds terrible when it starts. No one comes into this and knows how to do. And the worst thing is there's no set rule book on how to cast games. It's very much you just start doing it, you see what works for you, reach out to people in the UK community. Like I feel myself so fortunate that I've been able to rely on people like Munch, like Scoundrel, you know, even going up to like LCS casters like Zyrene. I've been able to talk to them and ask them for advice. They're really approachable guys, and they do want to share their knowledge. And so just reach out to people. Do it. You're going to sound terrible. I still look at my VODs and go, I sound terrible. You will always do that. But know that if you work at it, you put the effort in like anything else, you will get better. And you will eventually start getting your name out there. And that's the most important thing. You've got to network and build your talent, and then you start getting opportunities.
Okay. Thanks for doing this interview, Tom.